All right, great question that came in that really got me thinking. And it's a question that I've been asked over the years, but also a question that my answer has evolved over time. And the question was regarding my fame. Do I hate being famous? Do I love being famous? And do I hate taking selfies? And again, my answer to this has evolved over time because I feel like, fame can be a really tricky thing. Fame can be great. Fame can be deceiving. Fame can also, if you let it, and if you get wrapped up in it, it can take you down long, dark roads that can be very detrimental and damaging to your career, to your life, to relationships. And, sometimes that is a dead end road if you kind of get wrapped up in it. So these days, and it's taken me years, by the way, to get here, is I try to be really neutral on fame, and I don't hate it. I don't love it like oh, I need to be famous. No, I'm usually I'm grateful for it, but also again, I keep the meter in neutral there because I don't like to overreact to fame, and I try to underreact to it again because it could be really deceiving. And when I first started to become well known as a pro wrestler, and being famous in the world of pro wrestling, at that time, it actually kind of skewed my perception of what my reality was at that time, and really what the true reality was around the world. And the reason why I share this with you is because it was a lesson that I had learned years and years ago that has actually made me better, more evolved, and more aware about fame these days, so I can appreciate it more. More importantly than appreciating the fame, I can appreciate the fans more, and I can appreciate the customers, the consumers, the people more. So when I was a pro wrestler, and when I first started to get a real taste of fame, was in around 1999, 98, 99, when I became WWE's youngest heavyweight champion. And at that time, you have to understand, the world of pro wrestling, there is nothing like the world of pro wrestling. It is a machine, an entity unlike no other in this world. And the passionate wrestling fans are like no other, which is why I still have a deep connection with them and a deep relationship with them, because I grew up in pro wrestling and I love it. Now, and again, I'm not speaking for any other pro wrestler, but I know how it affected me. So the day goes like this, the day in the life of a pro wrestler, at least for me back then, and for all of us back then, but I'll let you know how it affected me. So I would go to the airport, and I would usually fly out of Miami International Airport or Fort Lauderdale. From there, I would then fly to whatever town I was wrestling in, any city across the country. Land, I would go to the rental car, pick up my rental car. From the rental car, I would go to the hotel. I would check in. From the hotel, I would check in, then I would go to the local restaurant, whatever city it was. After that, I would then go to the gym, work out. After that, then go to the arena. I would perform that night in the arena, have a wrestling match, and then get in the car, drive to the restaurant again, if they're still open. I'd have something to eat, and then I'd drive a couple of 100 miles down the road to the next town. Now, from the airport to the rent-a-car, to the hotel, to the gym, to the restaurant, to the arena, everywhere we went, wrestling fans were always there. So, which was great, and they wanted autographs, they wanted pictures, they had memorabilia, they wanted me to sign these WWE belts, they had everything and anything. Now, what happens, this is where fame can be a little tricky and it can be deceptive, and you gotta be careful about it, that you don't get sucked into the vortex of it, because it's created this reality for me back then. Now I'm 25, 26 years old. And the reality it created was, holy shit, I can't go anywhere. I'm so famous that, that I can't go anywhere. Guys, I'm going to the airport. I mean, I'm going to the Waffle House, fans are there. I'm going to the local gym, fans are there. Going to the arena, fans are there. Rental car dealership, fans are there. I mean, I don't know. I'm like the Beatles. Guys, listen, Beatles, Elvis, Jesus, And I'm this famous now. So you can see, now this happened every single day. And when this happens every single day, this is where you have to be careful that you kind of don't get sucked up in it like I did. And I used to think like, man, I am just, I don't know what, I mean, this is crazy. So again, Jesus level fame. When the truth is, now looking back, the fame that I have today, that I'm so blessed with, and I'm a lucky son of a bitch to have, that fame back then pales in comparison to what I have today. But the lesson was, so here's what happened. I was out having dinner one night, and I was having dinner with my ex-wife, and I saw fans getting excited at another table, and I knew they were getting ready to come over. Nowadays, through time and experience, I could walk into a room, I could walk into a big space, it could be intimate, there could be 10,000 people. I can immediately assess, all right, they're gonna get emotional over there, this is getting ready to happen over there, this guy's got his camera phone already out, this guy's approaching, this woman's crying, like I can really assess now. I've got my spider senses to a really good place. So back then, I saw this couple getting ready to come over. They finally came over. They worked themselves up to come over to ask me for a picture. They come up, and they were so nice. I'll never forget it because it became this moment became my teachable moment and a great lesson that I took with me for life. And I'm so grateful it happened. And I thank this couple, by the way, that they probably had no idea that they were part of a defining moment in my life. So they came over and they were so nice. They said, I'm so sorry. We're so sorry. Can we please have your autograph and a picture? So sorry. And of course I said yes, but how I said yes was a psychological play, like I was playing chess, because I said yes, but in a way that made them feel bad. So I said, sure, yeah, absolutely. Come on, sit down. And in that moment, their demeanor changed, their energy changed. They went from excited and sorry, but really excited, to then they felt bad. And I have goosebumps now thinking about it. And they said, we're so sorry. You know what? Bad idea. You know, the wife is hitting the husband. See, I told you we shouldn't have come over. And I said, no, it's okay. Come on, sit down. They were like, oh, so sorry. So they sit down, we take a picture, and I sign their autographs, I sign their menus. They walk off. As they're walking off backwards and saying, we're so sorry. I said, it's okay. So they sit down. It took all of 30 seconds, not even 30 seconds, for me to realize that I had an opportunity to make somebody feel good, and I made them feel bad. And what an asshole that made me. And what an asshole, rightfully so, that made me feel like. And we did a little exercise at the table, I'll never forget it. And the exercise was, well, let me put myself in their position. Let me put myself in a fan's position when I walk into a room. So I did this little exercise at the table, and I walked through it. And walking through it really helped me, because I thought, okay, if I'm there having dinner with whoever, my friends, my wife, and all of a sudden my favorite celebrity walks in the restaurant, my favorite athlete, my favorite singer, my whoever, oh my God, there they are, right there. They get worked up. I gotta go over there and say, I have to go over there and get a picture. I have to go over there and get an autograph. And then they start working themselves up, and then they start having this dialogue at the table. No, you can't go over there. He's with his family, or he's with his wife. You don't do that. He's with his friends. He hates being bothered, or she hates being bothered. Don't bother that woman. No, but I can't. I would never forgive myself if I just don't go over and say hello and try and get something from them in this moment. A picture, an autograph, anything. They work themselves up and they say, okay, let's do it. All right, they get their camera ready. They get their autograph. You got your pen. What are we gonna write on? I don't know, take a menu. Okay, take menus. I don't know, was the restaurant gonna get mad? Who gives a shit if the restaurant gets mad? That's such and such sitting over there. Take the menus, we'll get an autograph on the menus. They finally walk over, and this celebrity, me, in this case, makes them feel bad for coming over. Man, after that, I told myself I would never, ever make anyone feel bad again for coming up to me. And especially now, I mean, again, this level of fame that I've been lucky enough to have, I mean, people are crying when they're coming up, and they're shaking, and they can't hold the phone like they're doing this. And I tell them, here, give me the phone, and I get a big group together. I got long arms, I take a big selfie. But I'll never forget that. And I thank that couple, by the way, whoever they are, for that. So that's helped me. And so now, this level of fame, anybody coming up to me, fans, little kids, older people, doesn't matter. I don't care if they're a billionaire. I don't care if they're blue collar, hard working men and women. Doesn't matter to me. They all get the same treatment, and that treatment is gratitude. And I appreciate you coming up to me and actually asking for my autograph, because, by the way, the alternative to that is I go back to having $7 in my pocket and nobody giving a shit to get my autograph or get my picture. And on top of that, here's the truth. Taking a picture, a selfie, or signing an autograph is literally one of the easiest parts of my job. I do a lot of other things that are a lot harder than taking a picture and signing an autograph. So as it relates to fame, I'm neutral on it. I'm so grateful for it. Never take it for granted. And not only that, but I don't get sucked up in it either, where, I kind of let it skew my reality or ever make me become delusional about myself. I'm well aware of how famous I am. I mean, look, guys, there's Jesus, and then oh, one more thing. So this is what I always tell. This is what I always tell teenagers who have these big goals and dreams and ambitions that they want to do things that sometimes it's a connectivity and a connective tissue to celebrity. They want to be a pro athlete or a singer or an actor or whatever it is, or a famous lawyer or a doctor, where there's a little bit of celebrity or sometimes a lot of celebrity that's connected to these occupations. And I always tell teenagers, and I always tell young adults who are just getting out of college and graduating, getting ready to go out there into the world, is don't worry about fame. Don't even think about fame. Fame is a byproduct. Fame will come, or it won't. Either way, fame is fleeting, and it can be dangerous. Don't worry about fame. Don't worry about being famous. Worry about being good at something. Worry about putting in the hard work. And when you become good at something and you put in the hard work and you put in the extra hard work, then you become great at it. That's when you achieve greatness. Right? You hear that word all the time. I like to throw it out there, but that's when you achieve greatness. Then when you become great at something, you become the hardest worker in the room, first one in, last one to leave. And then once you become great at something and you put in time, years and years and years, minimum 10 years, 15, 20 years, that's when you become masterful. So you go from good to great to masterful. And I always tell teenagers and people who are graduating from high school or college, even ones who, by the way, are in their 30s and 40s, these entrepreneurs who are like, oh, I'm too old to do whatever it is. And I'm like, no, you're not. It's the perfect time. But don't worry about being famous at it. Just be good at it. Then become masterful at your craft. All right. This is 14 minutes of your life you're never going to get back. Thank you for the question regarding fame. I appreciate it. I'm neutral on it. I'm so grateful for it, though. But more importantly, I'm grateful for the fans, the consumers, the customers, and the people. Most importantly, you guys stay healthy out there around the world. And thank you for engaging in these Q&As. Always some of the best parts of my day. So thank you. Stay healthy. And love you guys, and we'll talk soon.